Yeah, good afternoon. As I told you earlier, I gave you the five divisions of data science. I started by making mention of traditional data, big data, business intelligence, then what's it called? Traditional method of prediction. That's when we talk about regression, about clustering, that is cluster analysis, about time series, about factor analysis. That's what we mean by traditional method. That is predicting the future events by data analysis. Then the latest one is what we call machine learning. So even though the topic we are going to be covering today is known as some ifs, uh, as I've said, most of the data that I'm going to be giving you to practice, I would be making reference to the five major divisions of data science. So let's go to the business and let's see what we. Okay, sorry, let me share the screen so that you can see my data that I'm going to be using for today's topic. So now, looking at this, you will see on the screen that I have a very simple data, and it consists of four major variables. The serial number, most time when I say variables, I'm talking about the column in the particular table. So the first column or the first variable is known as serial number. Then the second variable is quantity. The third variable is product. The fourth variable is seller. So looking at this data, you will know that it's traditional method or traditional data that I mean. How do you know it's traditional data? It has two major class labeling. We have the numeric and the categorical. When you are talking about the numeric, you are talking about data that can be manipulated mathematically, while categorical, they are data that cannot be manipulated categorically. So looking at this data, you will see that the serial number is categorical. A lot of people used to make mistake that when they say anything numbers, they think it's numerical. No. The way you know numerical, they are data that can be manipulated mathematically. That is, it's not possible for me to plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. It's not reasonable. So serial number is just to identify each user, so it is categorical. Then quantity is numerical because I can add the quantity. Product is categorical, seller is categorical. So let's go to the business. When you are talking about some ifs means that you want to sum data based on multiple criteria. You remember that earlier in the course we treated some if, and that one is based on a particular condition. But this particular some ifs, that is the one that have s after the sum if, is the one that you can sum the sum range with many criteria. So let's quickly look at a very good example. Let me go to our website in case you can easily follow the steps of how to use sum if functions. You could see sum if function is a little bit different from the sum if function in that you can use it to get summation output or results from multiple criteria, unlike sum if functions that can only to get the summation based on a particular condition or criteria. The table below will help you to comprehend the difference between the two functions and will help you to know how to use sum ifs function. Now, the major thing is that what is the question? The question says that, let's look at the question first. He said, how many laptops sold by Clinton? How many laptops sold by Clinton? So that's why I created this the seller, the product is the laptop, the seller is Clinton, quantity sold is how many, that is how many quantity is sold by Clinton. Now, most time when you see any data, the first thing you need to do is that you must be able to comprehend the data. As you can see, this is the data, a simple data for a company, which is telling you sales by each of their sales representative. That's why the first one is saying laptop 3 sold by Clinton. The second person, 6 flash sold by Peter, 4 laptops sold by John, 50 laptops sold by Clinton. Now, if you are going to do it manually, it's going to take a lot of time. That means you need to start looking for each seller at each role. At the end of the day, you will now sum the total quantity that is sold for a particular product. But by the use of sumifs, you will not need to pass through the stress. So that's why the question says that how many laptop sold by Clinton. So that's why I have this table. This table literally is not part of the table. I created it for us to be able to use it to solve the particular problem. Now, looking here, that means I'll go under quantity, then I'll type the the sumif function, which is equals sumifs. Are you following? Then it's asking some range. There's a difference between range and sum range. Anytime you hear range in data analysis, that means it's more than one data. Yoruba, they will say, you cannot see a person now and you are saying that, oh, this people is a multitude. You understand? So anytime you hear range, you are talking of many people in a particular column or many data in a particular column. But now the difference between range and sum range is that sum range means that the column must contain contain numerical values. That is, the column must contain values that can be manipulated. Looking at the data here, the only column that can be manipulated mathematically is is quantity. Is it possible for you to add products, laptop, flash, laptop? Can you add it? It's not possible. So it is categorical. Seller, Clinton, Peter, can you add it? That means it's not possible. So the only column that is that is sum range, that is capable of being added is quantity. So that means sum range. I will highlight all the columns. I will say comma criteria range. Criteria range. The criteria range is that the criteria range is now, for example, now if I want to deal with seller first, the criteria range, I told you anytime you see range, that means there are many. That means where you can see this Clinton, go and select all the column. That is seller. That is criteria range, comma. Criteria itself is is Clinton. Then comma again. It's saying criteria range 2. That is where the product is. I'll select all the products, comma. The criteria range 2 is is laptop. After that, I'll close my parentheses and I'll press enter. Can you see that automatically I'm able to know that Clinton sold 53. Even though the 53 was not sold once. The first time, Clinton sold 3 laptops. The second time in row 4, Clinton sold 50 laptops. Then 50 plus 3 is 53. So computer is very smart that no matter how big or how robust the table is, it can easily go around and mathematically calculate the particular product that is sold by the particular seller. I think that is clear. So now let's prove this. Let me assume I want to pick another seller, John. Enter 4. That means, can you see that is correct? John sold 4. Exactly. So then let me go back to the Clinton. So the next thing we need to do now is that we do validation. How do we do validation? Instead of us, typing the names one by one, why can't we just validate it by creating a pop-up or a list, which will show all the seller, and a pop-up which will show all the product. So that's the reason why I'm clicking on the cleansing, then I'll click on data, then I'll click on data validation, I'll go to settings, then I'll click lists, then the source is, I'll click all the seller, then I'll click on OK. Can you see now automatically I can see all the seller? So let's go to the product also. I'll click on that laptop, I'll go to data validation, then I'll pick what? Lists, then I'll select all the particular products, and I'll click on what? OK. Can you see? So that means all the product is also there. So anytime I click on cleansing, or let me say John, and I select another product, maybe phone, that means John did not sell phone. John sold for laptop. John did not sell flash. He sold for laptops. Are you getting what I'm saying? Did not sell phone, and the last one he sold 10 keyboard. Are you getting that? Sumifs is also another powerful function in Excel, and I think these are thrown more light on how you distinguish a traditional data from a big data. Without wasting time, this is a traditional data. Why? Because it contains the class labeling of of numerical and categorical. What is numerical? Numerical data, they are data, or they are columns that can be manipulated mathematically. You understand? Like now, quantity. It's very possible for you to have 3 quantities and you add another quantity, making it 5. Add another one. You understand? So you can manipulate it. So that's why quantity is is numerical. Let's look at serial number. Serial number is not numerical because you cannot add serial number or BVN. It's not possible that, let me add my BVN and get something. So it is categorical. Product is categorical. Seller is categorical. And after which we've done the data validation. So immediately after that, I'm going to drop the video so that you can go through it. And in case you're having any issue, you can let me know. So thank you. See you in the next class.